In the tech world, California is still the center of gravity. It is home to Silicon Valley and the industry's biggest players, but it also consistently ranks as one of the states with the highest costs of living and taxes. Tensions are rising with a new proposed wealth tax on billionaires. It would place a one time 5% tax on Californians worth more than $1 billion. It is still in its early stages, but the proposal has attracted a lot of attention, especially from people who say that it will backfire by driving wealth out of California and discouraging new founders. To get a pulse on where our readers are in California stand on this issue, we ran a survey to ask them if they were considering leaving, and if so, to where. Joining me now to discuss the results is Shane Burke, our senior data journalist here at The Information. Shane, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hey Tosh, how's it going?
First time on the show, and we're going to bring you back more and more. I've decided.
Yeah, I know. It's like catching a rare Pokemon or something.
Well, you're much cooler than any of the Pokemons, although I was a Pokemon fan growing up, so some of them are pretty cool. Anyway, let's
Uh,
put it aside. All right, let's talk about the data here. So, why did we decide to run the story in the first place?
Yeah, so as you said, we just wanted to get a pulse on how people were feeling about California, our readers specifically in California, and if they were interested in moving. We also wanted to know their thoughts on that billionaires tax. We asked it in a way so that we would have their answer to whether they were interested in moving or not before asking about the billionaires tax, just so we wouldn't lead them with that and get them thinking about taxes first. But yeah, we just wanted to see how they're feeling in this really interesting time.
And so, what were the results? What did we find?
Yeah, so about a third of them would be interested in leaving California, but that's really would they move? So it's not necessarily that they will move. Um, of those people, it's pretty clear that they're eyeing like tax-free destinations, like income tax and capital gains tax-free destinations. Texas ranks first with Austin mentioned a few times, as well as Florida. That's second. Miami gets mentioned. Um, and I think Nevada, yeah, Nevada's third, which also falls in that bucket. Um, yeah.
And how many people responded to the survey?
It was 374 respondents, and these respondents are our readers, so it's worth mentioning that they're a specific sample of people. They're people who pay to read in-depth coverage on tech. So it gets at like a direction of tech professionals, tech executives, um, that sort of group.
And tell me a little bit about what your conclusions were as you looked at this data.
Yeah. So I didn't mention, but about half of them don't support the billionaires tax. About a third of them do. The rest aren't sure. Um, and yeah, there's the chart for that. But so my conclusions on the data, I would say first, it's clear that they're very loyal to California, our readers, which makes sense, especially given like what like group they are. But the ones who are considering going somewhere else, it would be for tax reasons, maybe a lower cost of living. But these places all have like a chiller pace of life too. So, it's a mix of all of that. Um, and even though they're not planning on leaving, they don't necessarily support this billionaire's tax. It's about, half of them don't, but also a third of them do support it. So that's not a small number either. Yeah.
Hmm. Did it surprise you at all? Like when you saw the data, were you like, on a? I'm trying to understand, what to make of it, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess I was kind of surprised at how loyal. I mean, the question was, would you move? And I think a lot of people are down to move. But I also think that I was surprised at the states falling in line with those income tax free states. As a New Yorker, I thought more of them would mention us.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, I want to thank you for coming on. It was some interesting survey results, and we'll have you back on to discuss more of your reporting in the future. That is Shane Burke, our senior data journalist here at The Information.